China isn't going to take trash from the U.S. anymore.
And it's not just tariffs that could cost you.
The cost of recycling in Kent County will nearly double.
That it is costing North Texas cities millions.
And that cost gets passed down to Hoosiers.
Until now, the UK government
Johnson
has
County,
exported
these
our
drop-off
plastic
bins
waste,
were
shipping
only
it to
rated
China.
25%.
And where does all this go?
Landfill.
This goes to the landfill.
This is just trash. Bag. Plastic bag. Plastic bag.
Whoa, what's that?
Old swimming pool.
What a surprise, my inbox is empty. Sunday's here and I'm still in the city.
These are pictures of what we throw out.
Job is so exciting. Let's figure out the future while my clothes are still drying. Well, of course we care, it's not that we aren't worried. It's just that we pretend we don't in case there's something stirring.
We're going to get started in a couple of minutes.
So China Sword, actually started in 2013. We knew it then as Green Fence. I haven't heard anybody say it today, but I think the new official term is Blue Sky 2018. So this is an evolution, right, of an initiative and certainly some policy in China that has been, building for the last 5 or 6 years. I would agree that this is something that we believe will continue into the future. So no quick fixes here, no silver bullets coming our way.
We used to think of recycling, it was feel good, it was win-win, right? Everybody wins. Right now, it's a win-lose from the standpoint that if the tons I'm representing are going into a mill, somebody else's tons are not going in. And that's not where we want to be for our globe, right? For the conservation of resources.
Since we got grade 8, that's the best quality. To sell it, I never had problem to sell it. How much we sell it, that's a big problem now. But certain type of material, so like a number 7 plastic or other type of plastic, I cannot even sell it. Used to I get good price for it when China was in the game. Now you cannot even give it free. They don't need. Nobody wants to, and it goes to the landfill.
The issues that are most problematic are market instability. We didn't want to collect those materials to begin with because of their problems internationally, and that's only gotten worse since we started collecting those mixed rigids. So ways that California can invest in infrastructure for pre-processing here or processing here, that can also hopefully drive some kind of feedback loop to the manufacturers and what kind of packaging they put out in the world. But also creating market stability in terms of, when stuff we collect has value, it stays out of the landfill much better than when it doesn't. I'll tell you right now, our city council is debating whether or not to raise rates or to stop collecting this material and send it to landfill. Right now it's costing us much more to export it, and I won't say it's getting recycled, I'll just say it's costing more to export it than it would be to send it to landfill.
One of the things that our haulers, contractors noted in the letter to our agency was that everything isn't recyclable, and it never was. Things were just getting landfilled at different points down the chain.
When you throw that trash into the ground, it can contaminate the land, it can seep into the water table, and if it gets loose in the ocean, it creates enormous gyres or dead zones in our ocean. All that sounds terrible, but the worst thing is something you can't even see. Every ton of garbage we throw away emits methane, and in fact, 1 ton of garbage creates 2 tons of greenhouse gas in the form of methane. Methane is 84 times more potent a short-term greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide.
The recycling itself won't pay for it because the cost of collecting these materials, processing them, cleaning them to get to a very high level of purity, if you will, or lack of contamination is going to be in a very expensive process that hasn't been necessary in the past because we were able to ship these admittedly contaminated bales of recyclables to Pacific Rim countries and they've accepted it. But that's no longer the case. And so we're going to have to clean this stuff up. And ironically, the more you clean it up, the more residual waste from the recycling and processing process gets generated. And that's something that's going to have to be done with that residual. And so, fine, we got to, for the high-end stuff, the clean paper, the clean plastics, we need to find ways here in closer to home to make use of these materials. But as we generate more residual waste, let's take advantage of that residual waste, not put it in a landfill, not burn it in an uncontrolled fashion, but let's convert it into useful, lower carbon fuel, energy, and chemicals.
To this point, we haven't been able to do much, but we're embarking on a pathway of setting aside some of our lands that have in the past been dedicated to landfilling and using that to help site compatible manufacturing and site facilities near us and help facilitate those sites so that the products that we pull out of the waste stream are the feedstocks for their operation. Now, you know, we can look back 5-10 years and wonder if I was being naive or if I was being visionary, because obviously I can't wave a magic wand and have those markets here today. But if we continue to wait and say, well, we'll worry about that tomorrow, we'll worry about it tomorrow, we'll worry about it tomorrow, it's never going to get started and it's never going to get done. I really hope that we can get the state behind us, and not just CalRecycle, but the state entirely, to help foster and develop those markets and, you know, really demand that these markets are available and that demand that entities are reusing and buying recovered products.
A lot of people have talked about it, but they pretty much have given up. There was a case of a facility, interestingly, in Monterey, which was one of the speakers at yesterday's was from Monterey. It was a company called Plasco, and they tried to navigate this transformation issue, and they actually got letters from CalRecycle saying, yeah, you could go ahead and use this technology to convert waste into energy and fuels using a gasification technology. And when basically the legislature found out about it, there was threatens to take away some of the funding for CalRecycle under the budget process. So basically, CalRecycle reversed it and said, no, you can't do this technology. And basically, the company Plasco folded and went bankrupt.
The key ingredients for fuel, like natural gas, are hydrogen and carbon, both of which are widely found in waste. When you add it all up, each year, a 400-ton-per-day Plasco conversion facility that services about 200,000 people creates enough construction aggregate to save over 50 acres of land from being destroyed by digging quarries, produces a gas equivalent to 300,000 barrels of oil, reclaims 43 million liters of water for reuse in a city like watering trees, and recovers enough recyclable metal to save more than 1.9 million tons of earth from being dug up during mining. With the Plasco conversion system, garbage won't go to waste.
But one facility isn't going to change the world. And in fact, when I meet with other clean tech executives, they tell me the same thing, is that they all went out trying to make the world a better place. But as soon as they get out of their home territory, all the rules are different. If you just go to Iowa, every permit, the local contacts, the utilities, everything is different. And so for a small company to try to take their technology and build it someplace else is enormously difficult.
I could go into detail on the various types of provisions of California law that discourage it, but basically most of the people that are, except for one very small facility in Monterey, most people are siting their facilities out of California. There's a large operation that's going to get started up in the next year or so in near Reno, Nevada, and they're going to produce a very low carbon energy source from solid waste. But California is not going to be able to take advantage of it, except maybe importing some of that from Reno to meet California's low carbon fuel needs. California's got a lot of challenges. Like we say, we've got a 75% recycling goal in the state law that has to be achieved a year and a half from now. And we're about 35 million tons a year short right now as I look at it. We're not going to make by 2020. Everybody knows that, but then what does that mean? Do we give up? Do we just simply say we can't do it, or do we look for as many different ways to achieve that goal as we possibly can?
Yeah, and I actually think that the national sword policy is a good thing because it.
I agree with you. I think it's something that I wish we'd seen a long time ago and realized that recycling is just not collecting and processing the recycled materials. Recycling is getting you and me and everybody else to buy products that are made from recycled materials. And that's the missing link. And we have to create a market for these materials to be able to be used. We have a market right now for low carbon fuels. There's a huge demand. It's the price of a ton of greenhouse gas reduction from a fuel is now $200 a ton, a metric ton of CO2 reduction.
Is something that you can take and turn into a variety of products. One thing you could do is you can take syngas and clean it up so it's cleaner than actual natural gas, and you can use it to run a combined cycle power plant. You could run Hyperloop, for example.